Yo, what up guys, MxgicIQ here, and today we're taking a look at the 0.14 update coming for Torque Drift 2. This will be coming very soon, so make sure you guys go check it out over on Steam, Epic Games, and it will be coming to console hopefully later this year, maybe even early 2026. But I will say this game has a lot to offer now with a ton of new changes. We have a physics overhaul, we have new vehicles, a ton of new vehicles, new parts, new performance upgrades, a bunch of stuff that you guys are going to absolutely love. So let's take a dive into this today and look at everything 0.14 has to offer. If you guys want to check out my other video on the development update, number 1, it's going to showcase some things that I won't go into too deeply in this video, as this is just an overall preview. I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get straight into it. First, let's talk about the biggest thing in my opinion, and that's going to be the overhaul of the physics. Now, the reason I say overhaul of the physics is because not only did they add grip physics, but the grip physics also affect the drifting in a positive way, might I add. I will say you have a lot more side bite, and you also have a lot more control over the vehicle, and consistency is way higher than before. Now, it will take a little bit longer to tune your vehicle, but this RTR I have locked in here, tandeming with Sly on arguably one of the hardest tracks to do in the game, which is Long Beach, a very technical course from the real life Formula Drift events. This course requires a lot of precision and consistency, and we're able to tandem over and over and over again after fine-tuning our vehicles. So now I feel like the grip physics along with the drifting is a lot more rewarding, as when they come together it makes a very more consistent and good feeling game. Before you were just a little bit icy, kind of sliding everywhere. This definitely changes that, and you'll see a first person perspective here of the camera changes as well, looking very good. Now, speaking of grip physics, there's actually been a brand new tire introduced to the game that's going to be exponentially better than the rest in this certain category. And to go ahead and showcase that new slick tire introduced to the game, we're going to be using a brand new vehicle to the lineup as well, the 400R. This thing's absolutely gorgeous. I've been so excited to use it, as it's been teased for so long at Daikoku at the gas station, and I'm super excited to finally see it in the game. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this as well. Let's take a look at some new time trials as well under the new race event category in the game to go ahead and showcase these new physics on the new tire. Alrighty guys, now taking a look at this Toge uphill run, I am able to show you guys that we do now have all-wheel drive in the game, so you guys can now swap all-wheel drive cars to rear-wheel drive, and rear-wheel drive cars to all-wheel drive, and front-wheel drive cars to all-wheel and rear-wheel drive. So drivetrain swaps are now available, so I hope you guys love that, because it does feel very good for the grip, as you guys can see here. Now, in order to go ahead and kick the car around some of these corners, I am purposely downshifting into first and upshifting into second to give my rear end some rotation and kind of fight the drift assist a little bit. You can turn the drift assist down to 0, and it helps a lot with these grip runs. You'll be a lot quicker, and that's what I prefer you do, honestly, because it's obviously you don't need to drift if you're racing, and if you spin out, your angle's probably low enough to where it's not really going to matter, and you're going to lose it regardless. So this is a lot better feeling with the all-wheel drive now. Rear-wheel drive does move around some of these corners a lot better, but on the time trials, I feel like right now the corner exit speed and the launch of the all-wheel drive is just way too strong in comparison to rear-wheel drive, but that might change over time. We'll see how people use tuning setups and are able to perfect things, but the game feels great right now. The only thing I would say is maybe if there was some points added by making contact with things and things like that. Besides that, I think the grip events and the time trials are actually a ton of fun. I wish there was more penalties, but the routes are very nice, and I hope they continue to add more, as well as let us make our own on some of the modded maps as well. Alrighty guys, on top of the 400R, we actually have some other new vehicles, as well as new wheels and kits that we're going to be able to use that come with this brand new bundle. The Drift Games bundle is a new pro bundle that's going to be available in the game when this update launches. We have the Drift Games RX-7 here with this beautiful Liberty Walk kit that you actually can purchase for the stock RX-7 as well. And these Stroms that are on this vehicle here will also be available to be used within the pack. You can use it on any car in the game. You can put the Stroms that are both coming on the Supra and on the RX-7, both showcased here. You'll be able to put these wheels on any car in the game, so super cool to see Strom making its way into the game, another licensed wheel for the game, more variety, it's nice to see. Hopefully we get some more options from them as well, but on top of that we do have some other rotiform options being added to the game, as well as this Pro Atom LZ E36. So that's going to get added to the LZ bundle, which is probably the most bang for your buck. You get the Cream S13, you also get Atom LZ's S15 Pro car, and this E36. Probably three of the best cars in the game also. I'm very fond of the RTR now with my new tuning setup, but the two easiest to get used to as far as Pro cars go have to be the S15 and the E36. This thing slides so easily. I'm throwing backies no problem with this thing with very minimal adjustment, just turning up the Ackerman to about 0.40 and it feels great. So I highly recommend you guys give this thing a try. May it also be noted that if you've already purchased the Atom LZ bundle, this will just get added to your account as far as I'm told. Hopefully I'm not wrong about that, but that's what I've heard. Now, if you guys prefer to make your own Pro cars, there's actually a new livery editor in the paint shop, so that's very cool to see. They added my logo in there as well. Big shout out to Torque Motorsport, man. It's so cool to have my logo actually in a game. It's so sick. But you guys can throw on a wide body kit, throw on some Pro wheels, and go ahead and get yourself a nice little livery together, and you guys will have your own Pro car completely personalized to you. I still wish we were able to put liveries on the Pro cars in general and get blank canvases versions of those, but the closest thing we have to that will be the Liberty Walk RX-7 kit. So it's a step in the right direction, and I'm very excited to see where this paint shop will go from here. It's not perfect, but it is very, very decent. I hope they add more tribals and things for us to use as far as the D1 GP style and street style liveries go. To also help give your car more personalization on top of the livery, we're able to edit headlights, add roll cages, and a couple other body kits and stuff like that have been added to the game as well, which you guys can feel free to check out all the new customization options, which will be launching with 0.14 when it does go out. Now, to give players even more options, cars that were recently only available as NFT options like this 2020 Nismo GTR and the Salady here are now available for everybody to purchase just from the shop for in-game currency. So there are now no longer any vehicles available exclusively to NFTs. Everything is in the game and you don't have to worry about any of that crypto stuff anymore being a part of the game. Now, another really cool feature that's been added and worked on is really sick, actually, to be honest. I haven't seen this in any game yet that utilizes this track, is there's actually a drag racing mode, and you can do it in multiplayer, and we're going to talk about how in a second. So essentially how it works is here you pull up to the line, and obviously it'll line lock you, and you can just go ahead and press the accelerator. You don't have to press anything else, and then it'll just let you go as soon as the light goes green, and you have an actual timer here that shows up, and you can try and get your best time possible. And the best I've seen somewhere is in the 5s, I think, high 5s, mid 5s. I've seen some really cool times. It's an 8th mile track, so very cool to see this, and obviously the all-wheel drive cars are going to excel here, but I could see some fun stuff happening in multiplayer as well, because what you can do is you can actually have one person pull up to the line, have the other person pull up after, and the first person that pulled up to the line hold in their clutch, remain in place, and then go on the other person's green light. Now, the other person obviously has a little bit of an advantage because they don't actually have to know when to go, they just keep pressing the gas, but I didn't have any problem lining up with Sly and having some good runs, so just get a better reaction time, man. It's a ton of fun. Now, I touched on it a ton in the development update video, but there's all new camera settings. You can fully adjust your third person and first person camera, as well as the drone has some new features as well as full adjustability in the same camera menu. As you can see here, we can actually lock onto the car by clicking R3, and that's going to allow us to follow whichever driver we click onto at any range, and this will work like any chase cam in any game, so this will be very nice for comp stuff. As you can see here, I move the left stick around and I'm just rotating around the car, and then when you click the left stick as well, this will help you better, I believe, follow the car or lock onto it or look at it in case you wanted to actually look around, because you can actually do the left stick only and be chasing the cars, but also freely look between, you know, whichever cars are chasing each other at the same time. I hope I explained that somewhat accurately. Sounded pretty scuffed, but you guys get what I'm saying. Left stick, it'll follow the cars, right stick to actually look at, and you can lock onto whatever vehicle. Alrighty, now that we've covered all the new features, new vehicles, and things like that, let's talk about some quality of life updates they've made to the game. The game is now running a lot better optimization-wise. I am running on Epic with no DLSS on a 4070 Super, and I'm getting somewhere between 70 and 80 frames across all maps. Ebisu is actually drivable now, and I absolutely love that map, so I'm happy about it. So that's really great to see, as well as there's been a couple other updates to things like input delay. So now you can actually have full modulation of your throttle. There's no dead zone to where it was just 0 to 100. Before, the throttle and the brake felt like buttons, like A and B, instead of RT and LT being your triggers with full ranges of motion. Now we have that full range of motion, as well as there's no more input delay in multiplayer. Now this comes at a cost. Currently they are working on it, and I think it's already better between the builds I played last week and this week, but they are having to have some desync issues. But now you can at least play with people in other countries, and they can feel the game how it feels when you're in practice mode. So everybody's game feels normal. If you're US East to US West, you guys are going to have perfectly fine door-to-door tandems with little hiccups here and there, but it's a ton better than it was before, where the game was virtually undrivable on wheel, and you could not really do too well in other countries on controller unless you got really used to it, and that was really weird because you were basically predicting what the car was going to do. So multiplayer is a lot more accessible now for people in multiple countries to play together, and that's very nice to see. Now, I appreciate you guys for tuning into this video. I've had a lot of fun working alongside these devs and giving them a ton of feedback when it came to the physics. I think they've done a great job making the game feel a lot more actually predictable. I feel like your tuning adjustments are a lot more aligned with what real life changes would do to a drift car, and I think you can actually feel the adjustments in the vehicle a lot more now. It's made it a little bit so that there's a learning curve, and I really enjoy that. There's definitely more of a skill gap now, but once you master that skill gap, you can actually be consistent. The cars aren't just icy and sliding everywhere. They have weight, your adjustments matter, and tuning matters. You're actually able to tune to your style now. If you like to be a little bit slower and a little bit icier, you guys can run a smaller tire in the rear with a lot less grip and actually feel that difference now. Whereas every tire before, I felt like you could keep up with any 700 horsepower car with a 300 horsepower car. Now the difference between a grassroots drift car and a pro drift car is very, very noticeable, and it's very cool to see that the new grip adjustments have been able to add to that feel and make the cars a lot more immersive when driving based on your style. Now, point 14 will be probably one of the last big updates for a little while. Obviously, they will continue to do them in the future, but I think they're gearing more up for a console release now, getting that build of the game ready, as well as doing a lot of quality of life changes and adjustments and fixes. Obviously, this isn't a perfect state of the game yet, but it's tons better than it was before, so there will be adjustments, probably even to the physics in the future. Any adjustments you guys probably recommend and the overall community does enjoy will be, noted and probably taken down. For example, I still think the cars could transition a little bit faster, and I think the high to medium speed drifting could use a little bit of work, but it does feel a ton better than it did before, and I think you guys will definitely feel that once you get used to this build, learn how to tune, and really fine-tune your car. I appreciate you guys for tuning in to MxgicIQ. I'll see you guys in the next one. Get ready for some more JDM Driftmaster content coming up soon, and I'll see you guys in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.